Ivan Garcia on the boat there, and he is on top of our leaderboard with over 25,000 chips. Down at the bottom, Vincent Bijon of France. Blind still relatively low, but he will have to get his skates on quite soon. Not sure who I'm more jealous of, the eventual winner of this tournament or Luca Toni, the footballer who gets to hang out with beautiful women, even though he can only do one keepy up. Andre Brenda has been very conservative with his suited aces, and once again he just makes a call of 200. Blinds now 1 and 200. Matteo Cecchini has not seen many cards so far, so this will look like gold dust to him, glinting in the pan, and indeed it does. He decides to raise. Andre Brenda is rather passively called with all his suited aces, so he may call himself into trouble here. But look at this. Steve Duke, 36-year-old snowboarder from Switzerland, has also picked up a genuine hand. Ace-10, well, to a call from a tight player and a raise from a player who hasn't got involved so far, Ace-10 will look a bit flimsy. I suspect the Swiss man will have to be very, very lucky with the flop to stay here much beyond 4th Street. Chip leader, Ivan Garcia, also has an ace, so we know nobody is going to make a pair of aces here. It's just a question of how this particular cookie is going to crumble.
Fold. Call 3 players.
Once again, it is a limp and a call with a medium ace from Andre Brenda. I wonder if the other players are picking up on these patterns. Well, he has hit the 9, but Steve Duke has hit the 10. Nothing there for Matteo Cecchini, who was in front to start with.
100.
Andre Brenda having a stab at this. Matteo Cecchini really has no business in the pot anymore. I think he's tired of being pushed around. Now, Steve Duke. Top, as they say. Top pair, top kicker. And with a flush draw and a straight draw out there, he does exactly the right thing. He wants to get this hand over and done with now. Very good play from Steve Duke.
Call.
Andre Brenda is not a believer. Utterly dominated here, the 42-year-old from Bilroda, Germany. He will need to get lucky. We know there are no more aces. The king really changes very little.
Check.
Bet
2,000.
The bet is right. The size of the bet, just 1/3 of the pot.
Fold.
Well, that proves enough. And Steve Duke can breathe again. He's only been playing poker for 1 year, but he has plenty of nerve. He won his seat here during the basketball in Katowice in Poland. I'm sure we'll see a clip of that later. And he managed to sink 2 out of 3 free shots in front of a baying audience of thousands. So he's got ice in his veins. Sadly, no free shots here. They all have to be bought and paid for with those chips. And look at that. Big slick.
Call.
Steve Duke has called with the suited Jack-10. Emmanuel Hyder, I imagine, will bump this up.
750. Fold.
Good enough to get rid of Vincent Bijon. Around to our chip leader. Garcia also out of the way. Now, Carsten Henning. Man from Hamburg, he's 26. Loves football and travelling, he says. So I imagine there's nothing he prefers more than an away game. Ooh, a hand here for Andre Brenda. Now, we know he plays the rag aces reasonably passively. Will he just call here and hope to spike a set? It's not the sort of hand you really want to be raising too much with, because if someone comes over the top, you can't call.
1,100.
Well, he's made a minimum raise.
Minimum raise.
Yeah.
That's too much for Matteo.
You have to raise more. 550 plus.
No, it's 1-3.
550.
Yeah, correct. 1-3. In total, 1-3. 1-3.
The beautiful Manuela, being a bit stern about the housekeeping here.
Fold.
Only makes her more attractive. So, it's now over to Emmanuel Haider.
Raise.
And he re-raises. Now suddenly your pocket
3,500.
sixes
Heads
look
up.
like they come from Lilliput. The very best you can put yourself here is in a coin toss. You're either against ace-king or you're against a bigger pair. Can Andre Brenda find a fold, or will he call?
I'm all in.
Oh my good lord! He has decided that sixes are giants. And with an offsuit ace-king,
15.
Emmanuel Haider now has thinking to do. Does he want to risk his tournament against
11,550.
possibly kings or aces? He's got to think, I'm either up against ace-king, aces, kings or queens. Conventionally, those would be the hands somebody's shoving back at me with. Now, I'm only drawing with a couple of those. I'm behind to the kings and the aces. I'm 50-50 against ace-king and the jacks, or the queens. Thinking cap going on for the man from Austria.
Fold.
And he has decided to pass. So, fortune favouring the brave there. Now, Andre Brenda may have set that up by being reasonably cautious
King Kong.
and just flat calling with a lot of hands. Emmanuel Haider may have wished that he'd shoved first, which he could legitimately have done with the ace-king.
Yeah, nice then.
He taps the table, and indeed it was a nice hand. So, some high-quality poker here, some buccaneering play. Oh, another pair here.
Fold.
Nines. Vincent Bijon from Guyancourt in France. His favourite hand, 10-jack. Well, that's no good to him. 8-5. Says he wants to reach the final table of the World Series of Poker.
Not easy.
Someone showing the right spirit to do just that is Ivan Garcia.
675.
He's been quiet for a few hands. He's picked up an ace. It's only partnered with a little two, but he's decided to use his
Fold.
tough table image to bully these chaps. Andre Brenda will be getting his breath back from that all-in, and I would be amazed if he gets involved with King 3. He does not. Near suited connectors for Matteo Cecchini.
Fold.
No good. He's won $12,500 before in an online tournament. No stranger to winning. Steve Duke. Now, we've just seen somebody shove with sixes. Nines are even better.
Call. Heads
Steve
up.
Duke takes a slightly more roundabout route. He'll be frightened by overcards, but delighted by that black nine. Unfortunately for him, there's not a lot there for Ivan Garcia.
1,000.
I cannot see Garcia getting involved here. There's absolutely nothing there for him. He's not looking at Steve Duke. He's not trying to pick up anything off him. So this will just be a decision based on the strength of his own cards. Still hasn't looked at Steve Duke.
Fine.
And there it is. He's just making calculations in his head. So Steve Duke, well, part of poker, of course, is getting the maximum amount from your winning hands.
Munich represents success. That's true for Bayern Munich, the Oktoberfest, and him.
My name is Vincent. I come from France.
Vincent made it through to the grand final of Magic Moments of Poker. And in Munich, he watched and learned what you need to be a winner. Desire, passion, technical skill, and although the trainer Louis van Gaal doesn't like hearing about it, a good dose of luck. And if that wasn't enough, everyone got signed shirts from the Bayern Munich stars.
My hobbies are mainly playing sports, playing poker, and then playing football and tennis are my favorite games.
Vincent had never been so close to his idols as that day in Munich. For an enthusiastic fan like him, it was an absolute dream. Also in Katowice, they fought, they hoped, they got nervous, and they won. Well, they were all nervous, but there was only one victor.
Hello, my name is Steve. I come from Sierra in Switzerland.
In Katowice, Steve and the other players took part in a sporting highlight. Just before the final of the 2009 European Cup final, they received personal coaching by Spain's basketball idol, Epi.
The first time that I play poker, I play with friends, and after I tried to play on internet.
Steve and the other poker boys didn't have time for a breather. Shortly after the spectacular training with Epi, they were the honoured guests and watched the European Cup final. The Magic Moments of Poker candidates witnessed a historic moment as Spain, for the first time ever, won the highly acclaimed European title.
To travel, to go with the Bwin team to Las Vegas.
Katowice was beautiful, exciting and exclusive, but Steve was just taking the first step of his journey towards his goal in Vienna. Madrid again provided the last finalist. Like a long-distance runner, Matteo led from the start as his opponents fell like flies behind him.
My name is Matteo. I'm from Pistoia in Italy.
Matteo and his opponents were also in for a sporting treat. They were invited to improve their skills at Real Madrid's training ground under the watchful eyes of the players. I'm going to follow two paths. As well as continuing my engineering studies, I'll also continue to play poker. These are the two things that I want to do. Captain Raul led the training. Our poker squad could not believe their good fortune. It was almost surreal in Madrid. Matteo picked up the baton and ran with it. If one day he's being coached by Raul, then there's no reason why he can't win a poker tournament the next day. And now he can, but so can the others.
Some tremendous shrieks of delight from our winners there. I wonder what will happen when somebody wins a $100,000 sponsorship deal today. At the moment, Ivan Garcia looking the man most likely. Still at the bottom, Vincent Bijon of France, with blinds going up and up. He will need to make his move.